Hey, it's your boy Hendo back with another video, and today we got lockdowns in the USA coming in 2026. Now, logically, it makes sense for lockdowns to be coming in 2026 with the gas, the war in Iran, the gas, everything going on. Gas prices finna spike. Lines already happening in other countries and things like that. It's just getting sick at this point. But this is not a video to fearmonger anybody. This is just a video to get the message out, get the warnings out, because the worst thing that can happen for anybody is for you to be sitting there, be the one left holding the bag. Sitting there like, why didn't nobody say anything? The government isn't going to say anything. The news isn't going to say anything until it's too late. So it's best for you to get your affairs in order right now.
You become the first country in Europe to implement fuel rationing. South Korea is doing the same thing. They're putting QR codes at the gas pump that limits how much gas each citizen can buy. The Philippines is trying to ground all flights because they don't have any fuel. American Airlines has cut flights by 5%. Governments around the world are trying to push work-at-home mandates to save fuel. Even the International Energy Agency is trying to restrict non-essential travel. Now, does this sound familiar? In 2020, we were told that lockdowns will only last a few weeks. It lasted years. Now, instead of a health crisis, we could be entering a period of peak energy, and that could be just as dangerous as a virus. The new world will be dominated by the power triad: compute, data, and energy. Energy is the foundation of everything. If oil prices don't start coming down, if geopolitical tensions continue, it will keep impacting supply chains, financial markets, global stability. This is bigger than the COVID lockdown. This is a system shift. Follow me if you want to understand where all of this is going.
Could a global lockdown be coming to the US for the summer of 2026? And why do I say that? Because countries all across the globe have already begun to ration fuel, and some countries have even run out, causing major panic at the pump. And if you haven't seen some of these videos, take a look at this.
Firstly,
Australia
now has 39 days of petrol, 1.6 billion litres, which is up very slightly. Diesel, 30 days, which is pretty flat, at 2.7 billion litres, and jet fuel, 30 days also.
The Philippines has become the first country in the world to declare a state of national energy emergency.
Pakistan, look at the lines to get fuel. Listen to this trucker.
Been driving for about 500 kilometers with not a drop of diesel anywhere.
And if you don't think this is happening in the US, have a look at this. Check this out.
Now this is an eerie feeling when you pull up to the truck stop and all the gas is gone.
Have a look at this, the 2026 Energy Crisis Policy Tracker. I'm scrolling through it, but take a look at all of the countries that are involved in this right now. Australia, Argentina, Bangladesh, Brunei, Chile, Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Korea. You get the message. And if the global lockdown takes effect, these are some of the recommendations for everyone. Work from home, cooling, temperature limits on air conditioners, government travel, limited air and road travel by public officials. And as for schools and universities, close them or limit operational time. Then they also would like you to limit your demand for energy. Also, transportation. Limit vehicle use. You get the point here, right? And with summer fastly approaching and people planning their vacations, flights could be grounded. Some countries have even started doing that. They're also rationing fuel, like I said at the beginning of this video. And also, they're putting QR codes on gas pumps to limit how much you can actually purchase. Now, also keep this in the back of your mind. In 2020, that was a health crisis. We were told lockdowns were going to last weeks. They lasted much longer than that. We were told why, because it was to stop the spread. And these new lockdowns can be very, very serious, just like the last. Why? Because energy is our foundation. And also keep in mind, if oil prices don't come down, it will continue to affect supply chain, demand, everything that we need. If this does in fact happen, it will be bigger than the 2020 lockdowns. And why? Because this will be a complete system shift. Everything will be affected by this. Hopefully, an end to this conflict comes soon, real soon, and oil prices can go back down to normal. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.
As a psychic medium and channel, it is my duty to tell information as I see it.
So let's talk about the energy lockdowns that we're going to be experiencing starting in April and extending out into close to the infinite future. They're going to ebb and flow based on resources and things like that, but they are instituting a way of life that is going to require us to carpool, right? By 2030, most people will not have their own car. Most families will probably go down to having one only. Most cars will only be able to drive at high occupancy. Like, there's no more shuttling around as one person in a car, basically. The restrictions of this type of driving will be based on your mileage, and it could also be based on time that you're in the car as well, but it's going to be influenced a lot by those new cars that we have, and everyone's like, oh, it's a subscription for everything that you have to pay for all these little things. Well, yeah, and you also, they get all of the information of how many hours and miles you've driven. So that is live, and it is there. We are watching before our eyes the death of the airline industry as well. So, it's not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes, but, maybe short something. But so we are seeing what happens when there is not enough jet fuel, right? We've had lockdowns before, or TSA shutdowns, or government shutdowns and things like that, and those lines have never been that long. This is intentional to get less planes to be able to take off. Flying will become extremely exorbitant in pricing. Talk about down the line, we'll be doing more water travel. They're going to instill, this is, future thoughts of like 50 to 80 years down the line, they're going to be installing hyperspeed transportation underneath the ocean that's going to work with hydro propulsion, and it's going to be somewhat magnetized as well in terms of the targeting that it can do. So it's very flexible. It's very nice. But that is down the line, because we are already, remember, everything has already happened. They already have all of the technology to do all of this hydrogen propulsion and things like that. It exists. They have been stifling it because they want you to buy fossil fuel. So, fossil fuel. The next thing that you should be aware of is that finding the time to get around is going to be different. So, my family personally, we have bikes. We have I've got a little trailer. There are things to just think about. Do you have a mode of transportation? Can you walk around? Are you capable? Take care of your body, right? Take care of your body at this point. We are all going to become, interestingly enough, more healthy over time, right? As we are starting to rely more on our own physical bodies to get us around and things like that. But just something to think about. Can you walk? Can you move? Can you do these things? Do you have somebody who can help you with stuff? There's going to be almost a reconsolidation back into nuclear homes, right, where more people are moving back in together because of some of this, because of some of these energy lockdowns, and it is easier. And everyone had an idea of what to do during COVID, so we're going to see a lot of people go back to that. There's going to be a huge shift in terms of, because of these energy lockdowns, interestingly enough, there's going to be a resurgence in things like homeschooling groups versus going into the school, because while there will be services there for the school, they're going to cut down on a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff is going to get cut, and we're going to see a detriment for a lot of people in that. And we got the brownouts, right? We got all of the brownouts that are going to happen, and it's going to be like a typical super hot summer, except the electricity will just still be going to the AI farms, right, and the data centers. It's going to be shut down. They're going to prioritize it as data centers, hospitals, police stations and things like that, then grocery stores. And why the police stations? Because we have the militarization of the police force coming, and so that is something that is also quite important to maintain their ability to stay functioning. So, talked about that. That's a whole other topic. Again, these are for entertainment purposes only, and just, all speculation. There's no cold hard facts in any of this. It's just me talking on here you know, talking about random stuff that could possibly happen but may not, and we have no idea. We got no clue. None of the psychics know.
Hey guys, how are you? Okay, I'm just gonna warn y'all because they're not telling you this on the news. I'm just gonna say the news, just turn it off because they tell you the same repeat story every day. Whatever the news of the day is, that's all they're gonna tell you. But I'm gonna tell you something that you need to know. I've been watching these videos and I'm gonna fill you on something. So I just went to the grocery store, y'all. And I promise you, it's a store that you all are very familiar with. In every single bag of potatoes, those 5-pound potatoes you see, it was full to the rim, so they just got them in. All of them were rotten. Every single potato. Forgive me for not taking a picture, but I'm just telling you, every single potato, I pulled all the bags up as much as I could. They were all freaking with sprouts growing out of them. I mean, they were jacked. So it just had me looking at some more videos, and I started seeing these videos saying that in about 2-3 weeks from today, which is April 15th, tax day, that prices are going to double or triple on everything you use for the most part, like cereal and pop and water, and like everything is going to go up, because all that stuff that normally comes in and all the materials they use to package them, it's like not coming. So and it takes months for some of that stuff to come. They come in ships, y'all. Those ships could take like 3 months to get here. So as broke as most of us are, including me, because I'm in real estate and the real estate market is sucking right now, y'all need to stock up on some stuff. I mean, get you some basics, get you some canned goods, get you some ravioli or something in a can that you could just eat when you're desperate. Get you some peanut butter and some extra bread. Freeze that bread up in the freezer. Get you some butter and some cheese and all that. You could freeze butter. Get you water. Can you imagine? Water is 3 times the amount, and water is going to be like high demand. Everybody needs water to live. So, and I don't know about drinking out of that faucet. I don't know about you, but in Chicago, we don't drink the water out the faucet. So bottled water, because that's in plastic, and plastic, all that stuff is going up in price. And yeah, isn't it funny how CNN and Fox News and MSNBC, I mean, none of these people are telling you like the obvious, that if the ships aren't coming and our stuff isn't coming here, we about to pay more for stuff, or you're just not gonna be able to find it. I noticed in the store today too, and it's Wednesday, a lot of the stuff was looking pretty bare, including the bread. It was real light in the bread section. And I'm in the Chicago suburb where normally the stores are pretty full with stuff. It was looking kind of sparse. So I think it's already happening and they're just not telling us. So anyway, thought I'd share this with you because the news is a loser. They're not sharing nothing. And neither is the big people on top. They're like, we're winning. The only way you're winning right now is if you're rich. And even the rich are going to suffer, because guess what? Even when you're rich and you have all the money in the world and you are a super billionaire, if the food supply runs low, unless you have stocked up, and you may got a warehouse in your basement or something, but if you haven't stocked up and you're rich, then you're even more screwed, because you're rich and you're not going to be able to eat. Can you imagine a broke, broke with food, rich person? They're rich, but they can't get food because ain't none. Anyway, I really hope you have a great day, and I hope you go and stock up as best you can, because I know money is tight for people, but get as many groceries as you can. Have a good day. See you guys. America's great. Yay!
I hope that you paid attention and got everything that they were saying, picked up on every little reason why and reasoning that they were given for a lockdown coming, and that you can understand that all is logical. Like, it's not just happening here, it's happening all around the world. It's already happened to us, a lockdown, so it's nothing that, hasn't already been done over a sickness. It can happen over gas prices. Imagine everything shutting down. Like, because that's how fuel really runs our electricity. It really runs a lot of the things that we depend on daily. And I was hearing about the fertilizer and things like that too. So we got to be careful about things like this. But thank y'all for watching the video. I appreciate y'all for checking in. I'm out.